Every single war that we've seen in the past 9 years have all been planned for this moment. This moment in the sense of 2025, June, July, and August, to bring the world together on a global scale of one strategic belief system. 50,000 years, they've been training humans to fight against and amongst each other. Because why? When you're fighting amongst each other, you're not paying attention to what's actually happening. And this is what has to stop now. We are in this phase of resurrection. This is the final call, if you will. The curtain's about to rise and all the truth is about to come out. As a human being, you came into this world to participate in the resurrection of humanity. You had awareness of the challenges that you were going to be faced with. You had awareness of the extenuating circumstances. So you knew about the one world government intention. You knew about all the different beings that have come in and chosen to manipulate humanity. What you didn't know and what you weren't as prepared for was how much of yourself would be lost when you came into the physical world. You've got religion, you've got healthcare, you've got the financial system, and you've got this education system. Those 4 systems ensure mind control. And then there's the government who ensure those 4 systems play out and remain strong in spite of everything. Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast. I'm Michelle Vickers, and this is part 42 of the story of creation. So we've had some very interesting, I would say, revelations, and for a lot of us who have been aware of some aspects of manipulation and control and those beings that have come here from other universes to manipulate. I feel like for me, it's always confirmation. And that's vital to our success as humans in this current resurrection, this current a lot of people call it an awakening, but it's really remembering, right? It's remembering who you are, why you were created, and the intention that you held coming into this life, right? That's why a lot of us are so restless, is because we have that inner knowing that we are meant to be doing something different, something more sometimes. It all depends. So today we're going to talk about, they're showing me, we're going to talk about war. And we're going to talk about the war that's coming. And well, it's here. It's already started. What they're showing me. So I'm lucky. I don't know if that's the right word, but I have the capacity to be able to see this from the human side of those who are controlling and creating these situations, which is, I think that's the coldest part, when I see who it is and I see that we've been taught to trust them, and I see that, they're manipulators. Okay. We know this. It's not a surprise, but it still hurts. And it's still I still feel it, right? In the depths of me that, right. And it's sadness. It's sadness that there are so many people that have trusted these people for different reasons. Okay. And we all have our reasons why we trust, but I'm also able to see the universal perspective of this, as well as perspective from very specific universal beings. So right now, the creator is showing me how all the pieces are going together and how they're going to fit. And this is probably the most important piece of the puzzle of actually what's going on with this war. Why? Because those humans who are leading it, right? Their intention was to create a situation for another world war, but ultimately they're using war as not a smokescreen, but as a tool for to access this one world government. And it really is. We've got world leaders, and the reality is, it's so funny because even using those words, world leaders, they're not world leaders. They're not. They're leaders of government organizations that we've been taught to use words like world leaders. World Summit is coming together, and these leaders, we've been trained strategically. Like even just seeing those labels right now and the level of trust those labels have put in us, or not always trust, but hope. And, hope is one of the most dangerous energies. We've talked about that um, in many episodes. So I'm not going to go too deeply into that, because what they really want to share is the truth of actually what's going on. So the goal here, okay, I can't believe I'm going to say all this, but we're going to do it. So the goal, the world leaders, again, I'm using these words, have had ties in relationships for a very long time. The relationships that come out in the press and the news are not the real relationships. That is, if you will, it's Hollywood. It's all acted and it's all strategically designed to ensure we follow what they tell us to do, not what they're doing, right? But the goal this year has been to have Canada and the US merge. And that was always Mark Carney's goal. In fact, it's been his goal for the last 15 to 20 years. He has partnered with, he's a part of the one world government. And the intention is once Canada and the States merge, they will become an extremely strong force, and they expect the rest to follow. And to the rest of the world, it will look like all these companies companies rather. They are companies too, but that's a whole other story. All these countries are being defeated. But what's really happening is it's like dominoes. All the pieces are finally falling into place for the one world government. And that's their intention. That's always been their intention. And every single war that we've seen in the past 9 years, well, longer than that, but the ones strategically and specifically in the last 9 years have all been planned for this moment. This moment in the sense of 2025, June, July, and August, to bring the world together on a global scale of one strategic belief system, one strategic control. It's like a factor, a control factor. It's like when you're doing a scientific experiment and there's a control factor. This is what they're going for. So they believe if they can bring, right? Like the fascinating thing is everyone that voted for Mark Carney, specifically, they changed their vote at the last minute, right? Knowing, because Mark Carney said that we would not be the 51st state, when in reality, his intention has always been to merge with the states. It always has been. And, just saying that out loud, I mean, I've been feeling this energy coming for a few months now. They've been sharing with me and our private community. We've been talking about the war and what's happening and what's unfolding and how to prepare for it. But more importantly, what they want to share today is understanding the actual dynamics of what's going on. Okay, because it's really hard to wrap your head and your mind, right, around this level of corruption and manipulation. It's hard to believe that there are humans, seemingly human beings, on this earth who care more about power and control than they do about human life and human existence. And this is why two things have happened. This is why episode 40 and 41 of the podcast happened before they shared this information, because you needed to understand that these beings have zero emotional capacity. They don't feel emotions. Okay. It's really important to understand. The other part that needed to happen was you needed to be able to understand also that this has always been the plan and that it is bigger than us. And the reason that you have always hoped that this wouldn't happen, okay? There's a lot of us, right? We genuinely have hoped it would never come to this, is because we have the capacity to feel. We have the capacity to feel all of those 9 fundamental universal energies, right? Love, compassion, respect, purity, joy, truth, balance, movement, and illumination. These beings don't have the capacity to feel any of those. They can think them, but they cannot feel them. You naturally feel them, which is why everything hurts. It hurts, period. It doesn't hurt more, it hurts so much. It hurts, whether it hurts a little bit or a whole lot. Because when those who don't feel act with aggression, it cuts you to your core. Okay? And this is what they're saying is now it's time to do something about it. So in 2019, we got the call, okay? Not by a phone. We got the call that something was coming and we knew it. And then the world started to change. And there was different levels of control and manipulation that we endured under extreme duress and stress. And this was all strategically designed to pit humanity against humanity. It's why we saw humans fighting against humans. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter now what side you were on, okay? Because that's not the point. The point is they strategically taught us to fight amongst ourselves. This has been going on for years and years and years, okay? This is nothing new. This is, 50,000 years. They've been training humans to fight against and amongst each other because why? When you're fighting amongst each other, you're not paying attention to what's actually happening, okay? And this is what has to stop now. We are in this phase of resurrection. This is the final call, if you will. Okay. This is the curtain's about to rise and all the truth is about to come out. And what your job is, what you're being called to do, okay, from your soul, from the universe, all of us, is we're being called to resurrect truth, is the way they're saying it. What does that mean? That means allowing yourself to embody the truth in spite of your own fears. It's not going to be easy. In fact, it's going to be the most challenging thing you've ever done. 2025 will go down as the most challenging year in human existence ever. That's how hard the rest of this year is going to be. We are going to be facing all of the parts of ourselves that we've hidden from. And that's going to be the hardest part. It's not actually dealing with what they're doing, because that's not really hard to deal with. It's really easy to see. In fact, it's so easy to see because there's a trail of evidence. It's not even breadcrumbs. It's just blatantly laid out for you to follow. The reality is you haven't wanted to follow all the pieces for a reason. And that's what they want to talk to you about today. They want you to allow yourself to get comfortable with the pain and the suffering and the recognition of the pain and suffering that you allow into your space. What does that mean? It means that as a human being, you came into this world to participate in the resurrection of humanity. That's why you're in this life right now. You had awareness of the challenges that you were going to be faced with. You had awareness of the extenuating circumstances. So you knew about the one world government intention. You knew about all the different beings that have come in and chosen to manipulate humanity. What you didn't know and what you weren't as prepared for was how much of yourself would be lost when you came into the physical world. That losing of yourself is a result of 50,000 years of generational trauma. I need you to feel that for a minute, okay? 50,000 years of generational trauma. The history of humanity is nothing like what we've been told. Human existence has been around and thriving for millions and millions of years, for billions of years almost. The reality is all of that wisdom has been strategically hidden from us, kept from us, okay? It can't really, it's tricky because energetically you'll always be able to feel it, but your mind can be controlled. So all of us are living under this sense of mind control, right? We know that it's the four pillars of mind control, right? You've got religion, you've got healthcare, you've got the financial system, and you've got this education system. So those four systems ensure mind control. And then there's the government who ensure those four systems play out and remain strong in spite of everything. And so as those systems started to crumble because they were not working in the last couple centuries, they started to introduce the concept of entertainment and the world of entertainment, right? So forever, we have had music. Music will always be a part of human existence. But an entertainment system, and it is a system, came out that exploited humanity inside of it, right? Along with Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood is strategically designed to create ideological narratives so that your brain is consistently focused on, a poor me, really, a reality of I don't have this, or, oh my gosh, that person's suffering so much. And it's that dynamic, it's that narrative that we've been carrying around for so long. And it's this level of mass control that has poisoned the human experience. Okay? Because they can't disconnect you from the awareness of who you are, but they can create in you doubt and fear. And that's what they've played on. In fact, they've created doubt and fear so thick that you don't even remember who you are. And we have to scramble to remember. And yet we have this inner knowing that we have to fight for ourselves. You know, you may not recognize it as fighting, but those days where you're just overwhelmed with the life that you're living, and you just got to get up and you got to keep going in spite of what's going on around you. That's not how life was supposed to be. That's why you as a soul came into this life now. And the creator is here. The angelics are here. The entire universal council is here. Okay. They're not this one world order that wants control and manipulation, that feeds on your fear. They feed on truth, and they only share truth. And right now, your entire existence is bound by your belief in yourself. It is, it's bigger than you can imagine. And in fact, in this lifetime, it will be very rare that human beings, will be able to experience their full self in human form. But that being said, there are so many who are reclaiming their full sense of awareness and their full sense of self. How do we do that in a world that is on fire? It's going down. It's recognition that the system is going down. The world isn't going anywhere. The planet, she's a conscious being. She's not going anywhere. But they've created this illusion that if you don't follow, you're going to be damned. You're going to be judged, and that you're weak. And the truth is, your belief in yourself and your awareness of self is stronger than anything else in existence. And so for the next few weeks, this is being recorded on June 19th. Probably won't be released for another 2 weeks. And so for the next few weeks, there's going to be a lot that's going to shake you to your core, in that recognition of, oh gosh, okay, that's not real either. And that's not real either. It's recognizing that there's nothing in this world that is real other than the connections that you have with the humans in your space. It's the only thing that is real. Only thing. They've poisoned our food. They've poisoned our water sources, the entire planet's water source. They've poisoned the land, all to ensure that humanity remains obedient. Obedient is the word. And they've poisoned your mind. But the thing is you still have all of your power, all of it. They can't ever take it away. And that's why they're scrambling, because they lost their connection to their mastermind 8.5, 9 years ago. And they started scrambling. And that's why everything in the government system has been an absolute shit show ever since. Because they don't have their leader, so to speak, anymore. Why? Because the creator shut it off. That connection, he dissolved it. He knows your capacity to believe in yourself and to remember the truth of who you are is stronger than their capacity to control and manipulate you. He believes in you. He believes in your ability to feel truth. And he also knows how challenging this is going to be, because you've been hiding and running for truth for so long. You've been running away from it. We've been taught to be terrified of truth. We've been taught the truth is scary. The truth breaks up relationships. That truth breaks our dreams. That truth breaks homes. But it doesn't. Truth reveals commitments you've made to those who are not worthy of who you are, whether they're with home, whether they're in your career, your passions, your family. You're being asked to reflect on the truths that you haven't wanted to see so that you can allow yourself to grow in the awareness of who you are and why you're here. Your ability to access awareness from the universe, from your soul, from the creator, from any universal being in existence that you want to, is at the tip of your fingers. It's instant, but you have to want it. And you've been trained to fear that level of truth. So you're being asked today to let truth flow through you. The creator's just going to hold a space right now. He just wants you to actually experience the vibration of truth. Okay? And all you have to do just in this moment is close your eyes, not if you're driving, please, not if you're driving, but relax. Take a deep breath and set your intention to allow truth to flow through you. Here's the thing. Truth is part of the foundation of this universe. It is part of the foundation of you as a soul. You can't outrun it, and you have full access to it. All you have to do is set your intention to experience it. So just allow it to come in. Build your relationship with truth. Let the energy flow through you. If you have discomfort about it, if your mind comes up and says, I can't do this, you can do it. Take another deep breath. Try again. Keep trying until truth flows through you. You have to want it. You have to allow it. Because truth is powerful. It's one of the most powerful energies in existence. And it is your birthright. No one can take who you are away from you. They can create the illusion that you don't have access to it, but they can't take it away. And that's what's going to backfire this whole plan. Just allow truth to flow through you. That's it. Because your job right now is to become best friends with truth. Truth has no opinions. It has no perspectives. It simply is. And your job is to allow yourself to feel it in its fullness, to stop resisting different parts of it because you think it's going to hurt you. The truth will always set you free. Always. As long as you follow it all the way to the end. And if it seems like it's breaking relationships or dreams or homes, it's not. The reality is it's setting you free from them, from the pieces that were never meant to be part of your life anyways, because you are meant for more than those experiences are giving you. They're not the right fit. And truth will not only reveal the broken pieces, they will reveal the pieces that fit. But they can't reveal the pieces that fit if you don't even want to see the ones that don't fit. And that's the whole point. That's the whole point of recognition of what's going on in the world right now. These pieces don't fit here. Control and manipulation at this level, it doesn't fit here. It doesn't feel good. Humanity is about to experience freedom like never before. 2026 will be the year of freedom, purity and freedom. But we have to do the work. We have to be willing to see the truth to get to the freedom. So right now, build your relationship with truth. Breathe it in and let go of the fear that wants to come up. It's just mind games that they've taught you that you're still carrying. Truth is not something to be feared. It is a part of who you are. It's why you exist, because you can't exist without it. If you want to learn more about truth, you can. There's a whole chapter on just truth in Believe, as well as the other 9 energies that are super important to the existence of you. They also talk about the energy of trust, which helps you go from a broken belief system to restoring the wholeness of yourself. But right now, the Creator says, go in truth, walk in truth, and allow yourself to feel it once again, because He has attuned this entire universe. It was just a couple of years ago where He shifted the foundation of the universe, because this universe was always based on love, which is the connection between humans. And He shifted that to truth because love had been so manipulated in our minds that we weren't open to the vibration of it anymore. So He brought the entire universe to a new foundation of truth so that humanity can be resurrected. That's why you want to make your focus truth. You literally want truth to become your best friend. In spite of every discomfort that your mind wants to tell you is there, they're not real. It's just like everything that's going on around us right now. It's not real and it doesn't fit. And it's time for you to discover what does fit. And truth will give you the courage. Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know how this made you feel. And stay tuned. Subscribe so that you can get part 42, or part 43 rather, as soon as it comes out. Thank you. Bye for now.
The reptilians, I had heard that the reptilians manipulated not only planet Earth, but many other planets in our universe. Do you feel that that's true? And are the other planets also trying to rid themselves of this control manipulation within their own worlds?
Well, so yes, they've definitely, their efforts are expanded throughout the universe. So it's not just humanity. They're multidimensional, just like we are. We've just forgotten that we are. That's all. And at the end of the day, the entire universe is moving forward. So their ability to participate here it's only if we allow them to.
You had said that the change occurred 8 or 9 years ago when they lost their mastermind.
Yeah.
Who was their mastermind?
They had a high being who was here. He was the one who masterminded the whole, right? So we're not going to go into that today because it's not, but he's not. He's a not great dude. We've talked about him in the collective a couple times a long time ago. I have referenced him.
Feeling.
I will never share his name specifically and strategically, because if when you say his name, you invoke him, you bring him into your space. Carrie, what does it actually look like to experience truth? You feel it. It's an energy. Keep going back, feeling the energy of truth. You did the Elevate experience course. You didn't do that one. Okay, so truth was in there. There's so many episodes in the collective that are based on truth, feeling truth. I'm sure you guys should put some posts in the community and say these are all the ones on truth, feeling truth, because it's freedom is what it is, right? Read, believe, read that chapter. If it was me and I wanted to build a relationship with truth, I would read that chapter every morning and every evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to learn more, head on over to michellevickers.com. Join our mailing list to receive new episodes right to your inbox, or apply to be a guest on the show. If this episode made you think of someone while you were listening, forward the link onto that person with a little note about why it made you think of them, because the greatest gift you can give another human is to see the beauty and purity of who they truly are. Until next time, stay curious.